Values are principles that guide us and motivate us as we move through life. Values are not specific goals, such as finishing a degree. Rather, values reflect what you want to do and how you want to do it. The Values Bullseye comprises 4 important domains of life: education, leisure, health and personal growth, and relationships. We all get to decide what we really value and how important these domains of life are to us. Because you're attending university, we're going to go ahead and assume that education is important to you. We'll also assume that you have values that guide and motivate you in your academic life and you want to live them fully. Consider for a moment your education values. What would you value if nothing was standing in your way today? What about your education do you really care about? And what do you want to work towards? Take a moment to bring these values to mind or even write them down. As you consider your education values, picture what your life would be like if you were living them fully. Maybe you'd be handing all your assignments in on time. Maybe you would be attending every lecture and tutorial. And maybe all of this would leave you feeling less overwhelmed and more in control. Take a moment to imagine this life. Now that you know how academic life might look if you were hitting your values bullseye, consider how close to hitting the bullseye you are today. If you're further from the bullseye than you'd like to be, you're not alone. There's always room for improvement. Now is the time to identify your obstacles and take valued action. Obstacles are what stand in the way of you living the values you just identified. Obstacles range in their power and can often seem stronger than they really are. For example, you might be living with a disability or illness that makes learning difficult sometimes. This is a reasonably powerful obstacle. Alternatively, you might find it hard to be at your computer and not check Facebook. This obstacle is less powerful, but probably more common than most of us would like to admit. Take a moment to consider, without judgment, the obstacles to you getting closer to your values bullseye. If we're honest, we can all identify at least one. If you're wondering how to overcome your obstacles, the answer may be simply making space for them and taking valued action regardless. Taking valued action means taking small, meaningful steps towards who you want to be and what you want to do in your academic life. Valued action is often taken in the presence of your obstacles, not in their absence. It's unrealistic to think that you might make your disability magically disappear, or that you will suddenly lose all interest in Facebook. The main point is that if you're willing to encounter your obstacles and take action anyway, you are already one step closer to your bullseye. Take a moment to think about one valued action that you would be willing to take each day to make a small, meaningful step towards living your education values more fully. If you're living with a disability or illness, perhaps you could engage in workshops or peer activities by contacting CDU. If Facebook is a constant interruption, perhaps you could make a daily or weekly timetable that breaks up your study periods with scheduled Facebook time. Hopefully by now we've got you thinking about values and the importance of taking valued action despite obstacles. Now it's over to you. What valued action are you willing to take each day in order to be who you want to be and do what you want to do in your academic life?